Hey friends, today we're going to check out one instrument family. Can you guess by this instrument what musical instrument family we're going to be talking about? You are so right, the string family. So what makes an instrument belong to the string family is strings. So what instrument do I have right here? I have a ukulele, not a guitar. A ukulele has 4 strings. 1, 2, 3, 4. As a guitar, most of the guitars that you see have 6 strings, but some of your bass guitars have 4. It can get a little confusing sometimes. So what you saw me just doing right there is called plucking. That's one way you can play a string instrument. Another way you can play a string instrument is by strumming. So, to play a string instrument, we can either pluck or we can strum. String instruments are also mostly made of wood, okay? And on our string instruments, we have what we call our head. Our head contains our tuning pegs. On string instruments, you're going to see a tuning peg, and they're connected to the strings. That allows us to tune the strings. So listen to this one. I'm just plucking the top one. Now I'm finding that it goes to this tuning peg. If I twist this, do you hear the sound change? That's why when we play, we don't touch the strings, okay? All right. Then we have what we call our neck. On our neck, there are these bars called frets. Our frets help tell us where we're going to play our notes. And the farther that we leave the head, the higher the sound is going to get on our ukulele. And it's going to take us right to our body of our ukulele. Okay, this is our body. And then we have what we call our bridge, which connects our strings. And the sound vibrates over what we call our sound hole. So that's a little bit about the ukulele. Now, this next instrument that I'm going to show you is a little bit controversial because people say that it can either be a string instrument or that it can be a percussion instrument. And that instrument that I'm talking about is the piano. Now, the reason that some people think that it's a string instrument is because up in here, there are little hammers that every time I play a note, a hammer taps on a string. Let's see if we can see inside the piano. Oh man, I'm not going to be able to open it. Well, hopefully I can post a picture so that you can see what's on the inside. And you'll be able to see those little strings. All right, let's take a look at some other string instruments. Now, unfortunately, in the music room, I don't really have any others, so we're going to have to check out a video here in just a sec. But we can look at our poster here, and we can see a harp. We can see this big bass. And remember, the bigger the instrument, the lower the sound. So this big bass, you need to play standing up. Then we have our cello, which is a little bit smaller than the bass, but it's still pretty big. So it's going to play lower sounding notes. This one, you play by sitting on a chair and putting it in front of you. Then we have our viola, which plays pretty high, but has a little bit more of a chocolatey or kind of lower sound. And then our smallest instrument is our violin. And our violin is going to play the highest pitches because it's the smallest. Now, do you see something else in these pictures? A bow. You see a bow. Okay, so we talked about on the guitar and the ukulele that you can pluck strings and that you can strum strings. Well, there's another way to play a string instrument. On a violin, viola, bass, or a cello, you can use a bow. And the bow is going to help you play those notes, okay? All right, let's check out a video about some string instruments. All right, let's take a look at our string instruments. All right, remember we said our highest sounding, our smallest instrument is the violin. Then still a high sounding instrument, but it's going to play some lower notes than the violin because it's a little bit bigger. It's our viola. Then we have our instrument, our cello, and our bass, and just a little frog for fun. So we're going to actually listen to some of these in just a few, in about a minute or two. So let's review some of those different parts that we have on our string instruments. All right, so remember we have our bridge that connects our strings, and something that's a little bit different, ooh, that was fast. Something that's a little bit different about the violin and the other string instruments. Oh my goodness, why does it keep going so fast? All right, the violin and the viola have a chin rest because when they play it, they actually put it between their neck, shoulder, and chest, just like this, okay? And very similar to the ukulele, same thing. We have our tuning pegs. They call it a scroll. On a ukulele, we call it a head. Here they have it labeled as a belly. On the ukulele, we call it a body. Basically the same thing. All right, and here is an example of that bow that I talked about, right? Oh, there's our frog again, because actually a part of a bow is called the frog. Isn't that funny? All right, let's go ahead and meet some string players.
And it sounds like this. And I play the viola.
I heard Star Wars. Notice how she's sitting down. Harry Potter.
And when we all play together.
What a jazzy sound. Did you recognize that sound? Ah, the Pink Panther. Ba-dum, 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 ba-dum. Let's see what it all sounds like together.
It's great fun.
Awesome. All right, friends, thanks for joining me today in a brief summary of our string family.